Yo, what's good everyone? Welcome back to another video. And we are back, finally. It's been a while. Haven't posted a video in ages and that's on me again, I'm sorry. But yeah, we're back. I just moved into a condo in Philippines. We're in Philippines now. Okay, so we're in Philippines now. Thailand is in the past now. I might come back, but we're in Philippines right now. Let me just show you the what we're working with just quickly. So it won't let me flip the camera properly, but we are in Quezon City. I don't know if you can see that. Yep, there we go, Quezon City. Nice little condo, 36th floor. And yeah, one thing I wanted to talk about is about uni. So this time last year, I was at home with parents and I just dropped out of first year in uni. And the reason I made the decision was uni didn't fit in my future plans. You know, if I'd stayed in uni, and this is the question I always ask myself, it's like, it's not really a question, but it's like, what would my life look like? What would have happened if I decided to stay in uni? If I decided to not take that leap of faith and gamble on myself, okay? So, but what I wanted to talk about is, I wish I got into appointment setting. I wish I learned a high income skill sooner when I was in uni, right? So, a little bit of backstory. I was running a coaching business. I was trying to run my own business when I was in uni. And I wish I didn't do that. Obviously, I don't regret anything, almost anything, because if I had changed a thing in the past, I wouldn't be where I am today. But let's say, hypothetically, if I had to talk to myself back at uni a year ago today, what would you do? So I would tell him, get into a high income skill first, and then if you decide to start your own thing, then go do it, right? Now, this is going to apply more so for beginners, especially for beginners, but if you still got some business acumen around you, then it applies to you too. But what I wish I would have done was get into appointment setting first, get into high ticket sales first, land a gig, get really good at the skill, start stacking cash in the bank, and then I can go F off and do what I want, right? What I did was try and go straight into business. And I did invest in a mentor. I did all the things I knew at the time that I thought were right, but clearly didn't work out because I had to shut it down after just over a year of running it. So pretty much get into the skill first, because when you're a business owner, you have to wear multiple different hats. You have to not only wear the appointment setting hat, you have to wear the marketing hat, you have to wear the sales hat, you have to wear the client delivery hat. Was that 4 things? Yeah, that was the client delivery hat. You have to carry a ton of different hats, and you have to shift between them at any given moment. Now, that's pretty daunting for especially a beginner who's starting out. You know, they just want to, you know, make something out of themselves and stack some cash, right? That's all they're asking for. But if you're going straight into this and you're trying to worry about, you know, how the sales is going, how your closing rate is, all the marketing, and then you're trying to bounce back and forth, then it's not very good on you. So what I recommend is focus. If you're gonna get into appointment setting first, then get really good at booking meetings, get really good at having conversations with prospects, get really good at, you know, how to have those conversations between cold prospects, warm prospects, and hot prospects. Get really good at hunting for a solid offer. Maybe that's inbound, whatever you want to do. So get really good at those few things, because focus is what's going to get you to your goals. Because now you're not spread out. You're not trying to chase 2 rabbits at once. You're now focused on 1 rabbit. So when you focus your potential energy into one thing, then you're going to get really good at it instead of trying to spread yourself thin. Okay, so you get into appointment setting, and then in the process, if you stick by it, and this is what 95% of people don't do, they don't stick to something. They just can't do it. It's weird. I try to put people on sometimes, and then most of the time after a couple months, couple weeks, couple months, they're like, it doesn't work. They think it doesn't work for them anymore, and then they quit. So you ought to just stick it out as long as you can. Get that first win, get that first bit of proof of concept. I got a call today, so I might sound a bit funny, but get that first win, first proof of concept. That's all we need, and then take it up a notch. Now you got momentum, now you got a win. So a win can come in many different forms. You can land a position that is solid, you can make your first commission, whatever, right? Because when you make that first commission, especially when I made my first Wi-Fi money. This is Wi-Fi money now. Before that, I didn't even, internalize the fact that you could make income without relying on a 9 to 5 job. So it was always something that I thought would be cool, but then actually doing it is pretty cool. So when that happens, especially if it's your first time, that changes everything. So look for that first win, hunt for it, and then just go full steam ahead, use that momentum, right? And then what it's gonna look like, and what it should have been looking like for me, if I listened to this advice, is I would have been in uni, I would have been, studying as much as I can, I guess, turning up to the lectures, but also in my spare time, I would be in my dorm room, I'd be locking in, trying to make those commissions, my bank account. But so, and it's not always about the bank account, right? You could be for different reasons, but just for this argument's sake, the number goes up in the bank account, you're not as broke anymore. You can actually start, you don't have to rely on other people as much, and yeah, you can pivot out of that however you wish. And I understand it's not just about the money. For a lot of people, it's about the freedom that working remotely grants. I might make another video as well as to why that's BS. But for the most part, you can work remotely. You can be in Philippines, you can be in Thailand, you can be in Medellin, Colombia, you can be in Italy. You could be still doing the same thing. You just have to set it up and then you're good. So yeah, that's what I wish I knew when I was starting out, especially in uni. And a lot of the time I get people asking me, I don't have the time. So what I'd say to that is, I thought the same thing. It's fine, because I got uni, I got lectures to go to, I gotta have a social life, I gotta study, right? I gotta hit the gym. That's fine, but you're not doing that for 24 hours a day, are you, right? So, and what about weekends? You don't have lectures on the weekend. So the lowest hanging fruit is to grind it out on the weekends if you can. That's the lowest hanging fruit. Especially if you have a 9 to 5 job, not a 9 to 5 job, if you have a part-time job on top of uni, make sure you set your hours so that you're not really working on weekends. But I understand if that's not a choice that you can make, then you gotta just think about it this way, right? The reason you're getting into appointment setting, the reason you're trying to get into high ticket sales, the reason why you're trying to get into learning a high income skill is so you can get closer to your goals. So the fact that you come up with, and you're trying to think of reasons why you don't have time, tells me how much that it probably doesn't even matter to you that much. So, or it tells me at least how much do your goals actually matter to you, right? And you can come at it with tons of logistics. Oh, I generally don't have the time, yada yada. You can always make time. You can always be flexible if you have to, and you have to make sacrifices along the way, no matter what, right? There's always got to be a sacrifice along the way that has to be made, or several sacrifices. So whether that's cutting down your hours for less job security, whether that's, I don't know, you come up with your own situation, but you have to make sacrifices along the way. And that's what I had to do. That's what I had to do when I was at uni. That's what I had to do when I was back at home with parents. That's what I had to do. Even now I'm making sacrifices so I can get to my future self and my future goals. So there's always a sacrifice that has to be made along the way. It's just a matter of how much do you want it. So went on a bit of a tangent there, but yeah, if I was at uni, starting out, I would have gone into appointment setting. I would have hopped on interviews. I would have done my due diligence before trying to wear different hats and try and start up my own business, because it also helps too when you have cash in the bank. You can now invest in mentors. You can now invest in your own self-education. Maybe you can put it into ads, right? So cash flow is the most important thing. At your stage, if you're at uni right now, focus on the cash flow, focus on getting paid. Excuse me, I had a big meal too, but focus on learning the skills, perfecting your craft, focus on getting paid in the process, and then the world's your oyster. So hope you enjoyed that video. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe if you're new to the channel, and I'll see you once everything is set up. I'll see you in the next one.